Beep, beep. My hat!
So this, I'm holding it like this so this doesn't spin, and the reason why it's not just the nut you're removing, but this is threaded onto this. So I'm just trying to save some time by unthreading both of them. Now the nut's already loose. There it is. Steering link comes off. Now I'm just going to remove the screw completely. Actually, I don't have to, but you would remove that screw completely. All right. Now we want to remove the caster block. Let's say you're removing the caster block and you're replacing it. Replace these caster blocks. These are awful. They're horrible. Get some aluminum ones. For example, these here. Now these happen to be the pink ones. They do make blue, red, and green. These are by Traxxas. The problem with these is you'll hit something and this will actually flex. And I'm not sure if you can see. Let's see. Well, it will flex, and then this pin will bend. This will flex enough to come off, and then it'll damage the carrier as well. So it's just a bunch of parts that you end up damaging. So in order to remove this, all you do is just remove that pin. Now, if you do buy the aluminum caster blocks, it does come with a brand new pin, so if you ended up bending that one, don't worry about it. It comes with new ones, but that is it. Now all you have to do is tear down the inside here, and this is actually quite simple. You just remove the nut, this will slip out. If it gets stuck, such as this one here, you can just take a flathead screwdriver, find the pin, and you want to put this not where the pin is, and then you just pop it out. So if you see that pin right there, the driver's just going in here, and then you're just prying this out. And that pin should fall right out. And now, this here, the spindle, will just pop out. And that is all. Take the little shim, and all you have left are the bearings. For the bearings, just use a screwdriver, same as the rear bearings. Apply it at an angle, the bearings will pop out. Nope. Yeah, do things right. There we go. And there we go. And that is it. So we have completely disassembled the front end of Traxxas Slash. Now again, I'm not going to do this side. Once you do one side, you've done them both. Well, you should know how to do them both. The only thing that is left now is to complete the disassembly of the chassis components. Now, the first thing we want to do is remove the speed control. So speed control, you have to remove these two screws, and they're going to use a 2.5 millimeter driver. You're also going to have to remove this cover and that cover. These will use 2 millimeter drivers, and you have to disconnect the speed control from the receiver. And I'm leaving the screws on there, on this, just so I don't lose them. There we go. So now you can go ahead and lift on this wire, and notice there is some little jelly here. That's to help make this water resistant or waterproof, I believe it's advertised as. Let's see. So channel 2 is always the speed control. So that's the second one. I'm going to go ahead and disconnect channel 1 as we will be tearing the entire thing down. Sometimes you can get these through without removing the ESC. It does not appear to be the case. So we will be removing the ESC. We're just going to put a driver here, and you're just going to twist, and it should pop up. This is just the receiver is just stuck with double stick tape. And I will be reusing the receiver, so I'm not going to remove it completely. But might as well take these wires out. There we go. I'm just going to leave this there. Alright. And so now, we'll go ahead and remove these two screws using my 2.5. And that will remove the electronic speed control. And it's the same thing if you have a brushed system. The only difference between the brushed and brushless, this is the VXL3 brushless system, is that the brushed is narrower. So the brushed will mount here and there, whereas the brushless will mount there and there. That's the difference. So now we have this. I've left the screws in there. We can go ahead and remove that. And now, all we have to do is remove the receiver box. You have two screws, one of them in there, the other one over here. You're going to need your 2mm driver for this. And your receiver box will come out. And I will keep it together. And that is it. So receiver box. And the antenna wire actually runs inside, comes up through here, down there, and then loops around toward the bottom and comes up. That is it. Now, the chassis is almost bare. In order to remove these here, the Nerf bars, you simply remove these two screws. In order to remove this plate, you simply remove those two screws. In order to remove this plate, you remove these two screws. From here, to be honest, you don't really want to remove much, except for the servo and this link. So I'm going to be removing this screw here, and then those four for the servo, and that will be it for our teardown. So to remove the servo, there is a piece of clear tape here. Just remove it. If you keep it intact, you can reuse it. Just try not to put your fingers on the adhesive side too much if you're planning on reusing it. You're going to need a 2.5mm driver for these. Now these servos do break. These are plastic gears. If you want to stay with Traxxas, you can buy the same servo and just replace it, which is the 2075 model. But if you buy the 2075X, that's the one with the metal gears. And that's the one I would recommend you get if you want to stay with the Traxxas brand. If you do not mind going to different brands, there's other options that you can look into. But if you are a Traxxas fan, well, I'll get that screw out later. Just get the X version. And the X version is the metal gear one. That's what Traxxas generally uses on the crawlers, such as the TRX4 Bronco. And short course is really fun, but later on, if you want to get into crawling, I strongly recommend a TRX4. Do have some other videos where I'm running my TRX4. I have a Bronco model. My buddy Rod has a sport model. You can follow him on Instagram at Rod's Reels RCs. Now, the servo is actually loose. I'm going to use my 2mm driver just to remove this link from steering. And that is that. And the servo is out. All you need to remove the horn is just remove this screw here, and this will come out. You can remove that there, and that will come out. But we're going to be using this on different vehicles, so we'll leave it like this. If we need to make changes, we'll make changes. But that is it. Now, I am going to leave this on and the Nerf bars on because it's just those 2 screws for each. But I am going to remove the front plate. The reason why I'm removing the front plate, even though you could say, well, it's just 2 screws, that's pretty simple. I'm going to show you the steering system here. So by removing those screws, after you remove these 2, this will just come out. And this is the steering system. So this is the VXL model. See the servo sabers built on. My recommendation is go with a Metal Gear servo and get an aluminum steering system by Traxxas. There's other brands, but to be honest, the Traxxas is a very good one. And that's what it looks like. And these just lift up after you remove these 2 screws. So you're going to need a 2.5 millimeter driver. And it's just these 2 long screws. And there's a little washer there. Make sure you don't lose that. And there's some bearings inside as well. The new one comes with new bearings, so you don't have to worry about losing the bearings or if the bearings are damaged. But you're just going to remove everything. I generally flip it upside down and just take everything out. Bushings will come out because this system uses bushings apparently. Instead of bearings, the new one will use bearings. But that is it. That's how you remove the steering Bellcrank. So this here would be replaced along with the bushings. You take these bushings out. And then there's a little shim here. There's the other one. Those little shims. Keep the shims, but this would just drop in here with the bearings. That would be it. So again, I do recommend the aluminum steering Bellcrank by Traxxas, but if you do that, you're going to need a servo saver on the servo or a servo with metal gears. Just get a servo with metal gears. Other than that, our teardown is complete. Thank you so much for watching.